We are here in Studio 3 at Abbey Road Studios, where famously Pink Floyd recorded their Dark Side of the Moon album.
I would say the most important part of any recording is going to be your source, as in your musician. If you've got a bad musician with a bad instrument, you're not going to get a good recording. If you've got a great musician with a great instrument, you're going to get a good recording. The next is the environment, the acoustics.
The analogue side is the beginning of the chain, obviously, real instruments in beautiful rooms. And then you still can't beat a big, large format recording console, especially for the size of orchestras and bands and productions that we do here. From an analogue point of view, we choose our favourite microphones. We've got a huge microphone collection here, 800 or 900 microphones, ranging from, ones that were released last year to mics from the 20s and 30s. The quality of the microphones is still as good as it was when they were first made, and it was the rest of the chain which limited the signal quality. We use a microphone quite often called the RM1B, which is a ribbon microphone. It's a really loose, flappy bit of aluminium in a big heavy magnet, and you wonder how it ever picks anything up. And actually it doesn't sound technically great. It's got no bottom, no top, but it sounds cool. Yeah, what you've got, the noise floor's gone down on the microphones, and technically, there'll be flatter frequency response across the whole audio range. But it's actually the character of the old mics which everyone loves, the distortion characteristics that you get from the valves in them, which is still appealing sound today. The best thing about professional studios these days is you're able to record from instrument into the digital world using all this wonderful old technology, and then once it's in your computer, you get the chance to then manipulate it with recreations of that same technology. The sampling frequency is the number of times in a second that you sample the level of the recording, basically. So obviously the higher the sample rate, the more detail you get in a second's worth of audio. And then the bit rate is the kind of depth of the audio. Let's say if you had 8-bit, there's 8 levels of volume really that you can get. 16-bit is what CD is, which is very good quality, and then now you can get 24-bit and even 32-bit for the kind of internal processing in the computers.
These days where you have the capacity to transfer at 96 or 192K or whatever, we take the opportunity to do that. On paper, what people say you should expect is therefore a truer sounding bit of audio, a truer sounding bit of music, closer to the sound in the studio. All of this presupposes that the recording you're making in the first place is recorded well, with in a good environment with good microphones and etc. etc. All of the Beatles remasters were done at high res. All of Maria Callas's recorded output for EMI, which was some nearly 40 CDs worth of recordings we did a few years ago, and we made some comparisons of the initial remasters from the 1980s versus ours, which were done at 96K 24-bit. And there were several examples we deliberately chose. There's an orchestral accompaniment to one of her arias with a triangle tinging away. Now, a triangle has a lot of harmonics going way up. And what we noticed, it's clear as day, you hear all of those harmonics on the high res, and you A/B against the original transfer, and it's chalk and cheese. It's like a veil has been lifted.
Obviously the room acoustics have the biggest effect on your listening environment, but primarily people's lounges are aesthetically pleasing rather than kind of designed the best for sound. The bigger speakers generally have more low end, a better balance of sound. So yeah, my advice would be get the best speakers that you can for a room. And obviously you don't want massive speakers in a small room, and there's such a wide breadth of options and technologies out there these days. So you're kind of spoiled for choice.